I'm Dr. Amanda Watts. I am faculty at Minot State University. I teach in the art department, the humanities department, and the English department, and I am the program coordinator for the museum studies. I was hired to be the objects conservator at Mezainek Archaeological Site in the Afghan-Pakistani border mountains. It is a 5th century Buddhist monastery complex, 7 Buddhist temples up on these mountain peaks, and in the valley is a massive city. It was a bustling center for about 1,000 years. It may be one of the top 3 largest copper resources on planet Earth under that Buddhist monastery complex, and it's going to be strip mined. So the heritage needs to get taken out and taken somewhere else where it can be researched, preserved. So how are we going to get a 40 metric ton object off the mountain? Where Mezainek is situated is also known locally as the Baba Jihad, or the doorway to terrorism. There was always that sense of danger coming from sort of broader places politically. Right within our own work community, we had terrorists, and we were attacked by men we knew. It was complicated, it was difficult, and just sort of working in those incredibly restrictive environments, you have to be more creative. You have to be a better problem solver. We had 11 languages being spoken on that site every day. The way that we could all very easily communicate was the data, was the science, was the math. The numbers, they worked for everybody. So that data set had to be really precise, really specific, and complete based on the kinds of stones used and the estimate of how sort of dense it was in the center of those structures. We were getting pretty accurate ranges. From a conservation perspective, being able to sort of protect, frame, and lift an object is what we do all day long on our archaeological site. We just had to scale that up and then break it down. They got it up there, didn't they? 2,000 years ago, they managed to build the temple on the mountain. So what are you saying? We can't unbuild the temple down the mountain. We have these Afghani workers who have figured out how to move hundreds of tons of dirt during the excavations over the last 2 years. Why can't they move a couple hundred pounds of stone? And so they had like a relay system where they could just roll wheelbarrows over, dump it into another guy's wheelbarrow, and they would step work it down the mountain. It was genius. So we built the plan, we tested it out, and we started being able to carry these sections down the mountain. And then we were able to sort of scale it out to be able to say exactly how much it would take, how long it would take, how much we had to move, all from the math that we could do that had to be completed before we could start. We got shot at a lot, a couple of bombs dropped. That really sort of like slowed down the project. But we found a way to say yes. Students who are passionate about history, culture, art, people, stories, any of those things, those all feel very sort of liberal arts and arts. And I completely agree that they are. But in order to actually answer the kinds of difficult questions that we're still asking in those fields, you need the math and the data science. You need to be able to answer them with these quantitative kinds of answers. Being sort of interested in the creative arts, interested in science and math and data, they come together. So if you're like, gee whiz, I just can't decide between this drawing class and this math class, the answer is do both, because that's what it takes. You end up having to have all of those tools to be able to do the job. It's, I think, that curiosity and not being afraid of the scientific pursuits as well as the philosophical.